Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good, good. It's so great to be back here. We were here last year, had a phenomenal time, amazing session, amazing interaction. This year and this day has started off with a bang too. I can't believe the number of people that have showed up, and thank you for that. I see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of new ones. So I hope to connect with each one of you, before the conference ends tomorrow. So come by D4 booth, or of course we'll share a drink or whatever tonight at the .org party. So today actually, I'm going to talk about staying relevant in the new domain name space. So before I get to the staying relevant part, let's look at what do I mean by new domain name space. So to do this, I'm going to recap a few things from last year. Who was here last year at RCHS? Can I have a show of hands? All right. So I'm going to recap a few important points that will form the base for my talk today. What we spoke about, my colleague Uli, who were there, you met him, we spoke about the current state of the domain naming system, where we are right now, how are we doing, how are other forms of coming online and interacting online are shaping up, and what's coming next, right? So we know that there are more than 210 million active domain names right now across 200 odd TLDs and across 2 billion internet users. So the first one was sold in 1985. And right now, we have come up to 210 million plus, which is pretty decent, right? We have empowered so many people to come online, establish themselves or their companies or their organizations, allowing them to have a place on the internet to call as their own. So that was one of the most important way and one of the only way to come online from 85 until fast forward to 2004. In 2004, a phenomenon called as social media came about, which brought with it a host of a lot of other internet users online who came online, interacted, chatted, exchanged information. That was 2004, Facebook, 1 billion users. 2005, YouTube, which was a video service, still is a video service, 800 million users. And 2006, 140 million users for Twitter to date. These numbers might be a bit off because they're a few months old. But my point is, it took us 27 years to get to 210 million domain names. It took Facebook 9 years to get to 1 billion users. YouTube, 8 years to get to almost 1 billion. And Twitter, 7 years to get to 140 million active users with 340 million tweets a day. So when you look at this, what comes to your mind? It's like, wow, our rate of adoption is so slow in comparison to this new phenomena called social media. Well, not new anymore. So us coming from the domain name industry, what's the first thing that stands out to you? What's the first question? Anyone? Do websites still matter? Are we in the right business? Are we relevant? Are we still relevant? So instead of speculating, what we as Public Interest Registry did was we went to the masses. We said, let's ask them, let's ask the user, what matters, what's the most, and one of the questions was ranked from these, including websites to social media, what is the most trustworthy place you would go online to get your information or to do a transaction or to basically interact? How would you spend your time online if you wanted to be there to do business or to communicate? Anyone has the answer? Who came out first? Most relevant? Who said that? You're going to get a t-shirt. Yes. Websites did. And by far, 81% of the respondents said that yes, it's the most trustworthy place to be at. And one of my colleagues, industry colleagues, spoke this morning in the keynote speech, Veris and Manish Dalal. He said the same thing, right? They went out and spoke to businesses, a lot of people that were not online, but they said, if you had to be online, how would you be? Half of them said that we would have a website, and at least a lot more said that if nothing, we would still have our own email as opposed to a Gmail or a Yahoo. So we are still very much relevant. So all right, so we established that we're in the right industry, we're going to grow, but how do we get that exponential growth? How do we get to the next level? And one of the answers came in the form of new TLDs. You must be wondering, well, this is not new. We have seen new TLDs being launched in the past. But in the past, we have seen 1, 2, or 3 at the max being launched at the same time. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about 1, 10, or 100 TLDs. I'm talking about 1,000 new TLDs coming up. This answer or this idea came from the governing body of internet called ICANN. They said, let's open up the internet, let's get more TLDs on board, which will get more competition, more customers, more innovation, which in turn usually gets more growth, which is great. But at the same time, it means that there is going to be more people, more mind share, fight for better mind share. It's just going to be a lot of people online, a lot of people like us online. So imagine this. I'm going to give you a different perspective of what this looks like, this new 1,000+ TLD rush that's coming out. This is your current registrar storefront. So the one that I have on the left is a dot solution. It's a reseller. The one on the right is Big Rock, and the upper one is ResellerClub. This is the current registrar storefront. Yes, there are a few TLDs. It ranges from 5 TLDs to 25 TLDs on an average on a storefront. But there's enough space for everyone, right? Everyone has their own niche. There's enough growth. So if a consumer comes, this was a registry perspective. Now let's look at a registrant perspective. If a consumer comes to these websites, all they have to do is look at the drop-down box or put in the search and figure out which one they want. And it's easier to explain what is a good fit for them. If it's a direct-to-consumer model, you go to Big Rock or you go to GoDaddy and you figure that out, and they have explanation. But in India case, if it's a reseller model, that person probably has a personal relationship with you. So he's going to call you. I'm going to call Tapan. Hey, Tapan, I want a social enterprise. I want to run a social enterprise business, and I want a website for myself. So he's going to walk me through it. He's going to walk me through the choices, which are limited, 15. And he's going to tell me, you know what, go with .org, because it's social enterprise, you're doing good, you're making a profit, but you're doing good too. Easy, right? How will this look when 1,000 TLDs are there, 1,000+, not to mention the already existing 200 TLDs are there for offer? How are you going to navigate it? This is how it's going to look. Chaos. Can you make out how many TLDs are there on this picture? Anyone? Don't say 1,000. I mean, there's no easy way to navigate through this. Imagine a customer's reaction when he comes to this storefront. He sees 1,000 new TLDs. He doesn't know. So he has his mindset, this is my business model. This is what I'm going to go for, I think. And he comes to this, and then he is lost. Two things can happen, right? He'll get confused, and he'll probably not complete the sale. So that's a loss for you, that's a loss for me. And the other thing that's favorable for us is he'll be like, well, this is great, new TLDs, but I'm going to go back to the tried, true, and tested. So he goes back to us. But we don't know what percentage is going to fall, how many people are going to fall in each bucket. So the upper picture is actually a storefront of a current registrar who is trying to address this influx of 1,000 new TLDs. And see, that person, that registrar has actually removed the drop-down box. So basically, there's no way for a registrant to go to someone's website and figure out what's there for offer, except for those 3 circles up there, com, in, org, which is prime real estate on anyone's storefront. So we already pay a decent amount to be there on the prime real estate, and we are only 3 out of 15. Guess what the economics would work out when there are 3 out of 1,000? It's a fair guess, right? So this is what I'm talking about. This is the part staying relevant in the new domain name space. This is what the new domain name space is going to look like. A lot of choices, a lot of new customers. But again, for a registry and a channel, how are we going to stay relevant to the customers? What are we going to do that our business still grows? We grow, the channel grows. That's what I'm going to touch upon today. So this is our registry perspective right now and the way we do business right now. So there's the registry, there's the registrar, and the registrar then connects to the reseller, registrant, partners, vendors. And this model has helped us a lot till now, and it has given us the growth. But it's a very linear model, right? Our interaction is limited to the registrar level. In some cases, it goes beyond that, but only to the reseller, and that too barely. So whatever we have to do or wherever we want the growth from, we just let the registrar know that. We tell our requirements, our parameters, and then they go out and make it happen. Again, this is manageable when there are few players in the industry. What happens when there are 1,000 new players who are trying to figure out how to grow, and who will the registrar help out? They can't do that for all 1,000. So at Public Interest Registry, we think the new way of doing business is this, not linear, but a very inclusive and a cohesive way. A registry will interact with not only the registrar, but every player in the industry, and it's not going to be a top-down model. It's not going to be a single line of communication. It's going to be a back and forth. This is going to be a more inclusive, a very cohesive one where we will take inputs from you. At the same time, we'll talk to you, figure out what can be done, what cannot be done. So not just the registry to the reseller, not just the registrar to the reseller, it's an entire circle. And to give an example of what this new way of business is going to be, and one of the things that existing registry like us is doing to help navigate through this new domain name space and how to grow, I'm going to show you a short video, which is an educational video, which basically does your work of educating the end users.
The new top-level domains for non-governmental organisations, .ngo and .ong, are finally coming. Here's what you need to know. For me and my NGO, one major challenge was always how to establish trust and credibility online with an increasingly global audience. Today there are millions of organisations. Some are true NGOs and non-profits, while others are not. Hard enough, even for me as a professional, to know what is behind an organisation. Even harder for people without NGO or non-profit background to know if the organisation they are searching for online is a good cause. So how do they decide? That's what the new .ngo or .ong domain names can do for us and for our supporters. To become an international brand mark of trust and credibility. .ngo and .ong will be available only to true non-profit, non-governmental organisations. The validation process is facilitated by the experienced Public Interest Registry, the operator of .org. More importantly, the new domains will be linked to an NGO directory and hub where the community at large can help ensure accuracy of NGO listings and profiles, ultimately creating a real-time NGO directory that will help donors and supporters find causes they care about. With the launch of .ngo and .ong domain names approaching, make sure you are prepared when the time comes. Right now, submit your expression of interest for your new .ngo and .ong domain name at www.globalngo.org. It is free, easy, non-binding, and will keep all of us up to date. Trust is the currency of the future, in particular for NGOs, so these new domain names will help us all to distinguish ourselves in a crowded online world.
So this is just one of the examples. What we have done over here is we are also launching a new TLD in this new round, but it's in line with our current business. We have a section under org, we have a section for nonprofits, and we are just giving them a new space online which is validated. But now, the purpose of this video is so that you, a registrar, a reseller, or a vendor, can just take this and use this to target their audience, their NGO audience within their customer base. We don't want you to use this and go and try to convince everyone. We are going to help you navigate through this and get to the right audience. But this is coming from us. It is going to be our way of helping you, one of our ways of helping you get to the right audience. So I spoke about how does this look for the registry, what are we expecting, how do we feel that our relationship with the channel is going to be. But let's get to the main part of it, because you guys will play one of the key roles in our success and our continued success, especially the Indian market. So what does this entire new scenario mean for the channel? You're in the driver's seat, especially in terms of affecting buyer behavior. You have always been in the driver's seat, but to an extent. Now, this puts you in a much bigger driver's seat, if I can use. Especially for the Indian market, because everyone's still reseller driven. It's very relationship driven. So you will be the one who will affect or influence a buyer's behavior in terms of which TLD is right for him or her, what kind of hosting package, what should they do with their website. So in terms of 15 TLDs, getting your message across from a registry perspective, it's relatively easier. In terms of 1,000 plus new TLDs, whom are you going to choose? How are you going to work this out? You can't humanly possibly, you can't promote 1,000 TLDs. So how do we stay relevant in your book of business? How do we see to that when someone is asking for a website for his or her business that is in line with .org's mission, you will suggest .org and not something else. So this is where you come in. You become the educator. You are the ones who are going to explain to the users why this makes sense, why you are a .org or you're a .com or a .net, why you don't want any other TLDs. This is where you'll come in. You will educate them on how the business is going, why this will make sense for you to come online and make the most of it. Higher visibility. So right now, I showed you the old way of doing business, linear. It was one way down. We only had visibility to the registrar, vice versa. You only had visibility to the registrar, and the communication stopped there in most cases. With this, you have visibility all around, not just the registry, not just the registrar, but also with partners, vendors, PR agencies, marketeers, everyone. So this allows you to get your business and yourself in the limelight also. Direct interaction with registries. As I've mentioned again, it's very imperative that we as a registry start, at least for the Indian market, start working with the resellers along with the registrars. You are the feet on the street. You are the ear on the ground. You know what a customer wants. You are the influencer. You are the educator. So with the new way of doing business, this is how registries and resellers and registrars can work together, and you will have a much bigger say in what we do in the market. Not only that, you will have access to all the benefits that a registry has, the marketing capabilities, the reach, the international reach. So this again works vice versa. You help us get on the ground, and this also gets your profile up. And of course, opportunities. I said, we are applying for new TLDs too, because we do in fact see it as an opportunity if it's done right. So this is an opportunity for you too. More visibility, more TLDs, more customers online, more customers asking for, hey, what's going on? So it's not a website, it's a domain name that leads to a website. So it's an opportunity for you to do more sale. At the same time, it's an opportunity for you to grow your business with the current registrants that you have. And I'll come to that point of how you can do that. So, what is public interest registry doing in the face of this competition and changing nature of the industry? So we spoke about, we know what's coming, we know how it's going to look. Let's speak about what we as a registry are doing and what we have seen. We're expanding. We're expanding .org beyond just the .org brand. We are no longer .org, but we are your public interest registry. We are expanding with new TLDs. We analyzed our base. We looked at what our base is. A lot of them are nonprofits on our base. We went out to our base, we asked them, and we came back with the need that they had. So we came back with, they want a validated space, so we went ahead and we got .ng and .ong. More than half of the world does not speak English. So we said, you know what, we're a public interest registry. Let's see if we can launch IDNs, different language. So at least we enable other people to come online in their own language. So we're launching IDN. We're launching Hindi, Cyrillic, and 2-character and 4-character Chinese domains. We're rebranding. So we're rebranding on 2 steps. We're rebranding our image. We're rebranding public interest registry. We're moving away from just being called the .org guys to we're moving to public interest registry. And we have put the word your because we're here to serve you. But we're also rebranding in regions that we know where our market is much broader than just nonprofits. A classic example is India. We saw this opportunity and we said, all right, a year and a half ago, let's start opening up avenues. There are people who have so many other .org owners that are not just nonprofits. It's education, it's associations, it's social enterprises. So we're broadening the base, and we're doing it the right way. At least I hope so. We're broadening the base by educating people that, hey, it's not a closed TLD, it's not just for nonprofits. If you have a business or an organization with a mission, you should be on a .org. And we are pushing it down the channel. We are educating those people. We are running ad campaigns. We are running online campaigns. We are running promotions, marketing promotions with resellers. So we are trying to carry some of that weight to educate your registrants so that they can come to you, ask for a .org or ask for a website and grow your business. As I said, broadening, and this ties into broadening of .org base internationally. We are doing this in India. We are looking at other regions like China, Africa, Argentina, and we're going to try and replicate that because there's a lot of opportunity. There are a lot of people out there that need to be online and speak about their mission and do good, and that's what we are doing. And last but not the least, we are building stronger relationships. As I mentioned, we can no longer just have a linear relationship in the channel. It has to be a more cohesive and a more complete relationship, a very interdependent relationship. And we're already doing that. We're doing that with our channel partners, and I have to hand it to ResellerClub that they have allowed us access to you guys. As I said, you are the meat of the entire channel. You're the ones that bring in the numbers, and they have been good enough to give us access. And I've had phenomenal conversations with all of you, and we are getting there. We are implementing your feedback. So what to expect from PIR in the next few months? So we heard you. We analyzed what's going on. We saw what the industry looks like. And we have implemented a few things. It's still in the pipeline. I had met a few of you in Goa at a reseller retreat. And you guys came back with us saying that rebate is one thing, but help us educate people why org. There is a, and rightly so because it's still maturing, but there's this notion in the Indian market where I want a comm. If you don't have a comm, then they go to something else. And the resellers came back saying that, which is fine, but if you want to change that, you have to empower us to educate them. If you educate them, if we tell them, this is why you should be here, and then they'll get it. So we took that, and we are doing that. So one of the things that we're going to launch soon is called a preferred partner program from the registry end. So right now, the only visibility that a registrant has is, okay, DirectEye or GoDaddy or Big Rock is working with ComNet, org, so they're working with the registries. But when they come to your storefront, they don't know who your partners are. They only know your partner as a registrar, but they don't know who the partner is at the source. So we're going to come up with a criteria for resellers specifically where you will be able to become a preferred partner with a registry, which gives you leverage, which adds that level of confidence to the end user, and it gives them this authenticated feel, right? Regional specific and reseller specific marketing toolkit. One of the big things that came out was, well, one message is not going to fit across the board. What we want is a very specific, tailored specific approach. So what we're going to do is we're going to invite you guys in batches. We're going to talk to you. We're going to look at what your base is, what your customer base is. Then we're going to analyze that. We're going to see, okay, let's say Tapan has more education people. Then we're going to tailor it so that our message for .org would be towards educational institutions or students. So that way it's more targeted, easier to close the sale. His time is less, it's taken up less, and it's easy, to the point, get it done. So we're going to come to each one of you, help you analyze that. And again, I'm going back to Manish. He mentioned that. He's like, we are at a cusp. India is going to boom. It's going to get to 16 million. You guys are the ones who are going to grow it to 16 million. But there are certain things you need to do. You need to reach out, you need to market, you need to educate, and that's exactly what we are going to do and help you do that. Collateral and branding materials for events. All of us go to events for our business or for a registrar or a registry's business, but we're going to help you arm and equip yourself to do a better job over there so that when you get there, it's easier for you to reach out, put your message out, and it's going to be a co-branded one. So you not only have a marketing toolkit to do your messaging, but you have enough physical material to hand out and to spread the word, to make more customers. And of course, marketing funds in partnership with parent registrars. So right now, we can't directly work with resellers, which is a good thing. We work with the registrar and the resellers, but we're going to try and work more closely with the registrars to come up with funds that we can directly allocate to you. So you can come to us with let's say a plan, and you say, this is what we are trying to do, this is the vertical we are trying to target, and then we can figure out if there is a way that we as a registry can support you, because at the end of the day, you're going to grow our business, and in turn grow your business. So these 4 points, these 4 things combined is something that we're going to try to do in the next few months. It's already in the pipeline, and we want to get this out before the round of new TLDs come out, because we want you out the door running, selling more .ORs, passing on our message, getting people educated, getting people online, getting people interacted. And I think we can help you do that, as long as you're ready to do that too for us. So, I'm going to come to a quiz. So I spoke about what's coming, how it's going to change, how you guys are important, so important, right? So whoever gives me the right answer for this gets a goodie bag, .OR goodie bag. And I'm asking this for a reason, because I'm trying to make a point. You can't do that. You can't answer. How many domain names has the public interest registry sold so far? How much? Sorry? No, I wish then I would be bigger than .com. How much? 10? 50? Nah. Anyone? What? Yeah, who said 10,000? Dude, come on, yaar. Huh? No. No one? No. All right. 0. We can't directly sell to the consumer. You get it. I'll give it to you. The answer is 0. We as a registry cannot sell directly to the consumers. It is you guys who sell for us. We're at 10.1 and counting million domain names. None of them have come from us. So that's why I stress the importance of why you're so important, especially when all the new TLDs come, how you will help us stay relevant, how you will grow our market. So I want to close off on a note. Everyone's been, and we are in India, so everyone's been speaking about the growth that India has and the potential that it has. And I want to share a few numbers with you. This is us. 2011, 2012, and 2013. The 2013 is only up to June. We have exponentially grown in all 3 years. We are set to double our 2012 numbers this year. And I think all of you expect a round of applause for that. Thank you. No, this is only new creates. Yeah. Not only this, not only have you guys helped us grow our base in India, you have helped us gain brand identity also. So we have been running this, right? I told you, we are not just here for numbers. We are here to grow our base. We are here to educate people. So what we did is we went out, we asked people, when the domain name is told to you, and we use com as an example, their next or awareness was org and then in. So again, thank you, because you guys, being resellers, you spoke to people, you educated them, you influenced them, and that's how they know what org is. So I'm going to leave on this note. I'm going to say, I can't stress enough how important you guys are. We have had a fantastic relationship. It's still growing. And I hope that we can strengthen this years to come, especially with the new TLDs before that they come online, and we can strengthen and grow further. Thank you.